In this episode, we are back at Seward Speed Shop talking to Adam Cottle, the owner, and today we're going to go into a little bit of engine identification. We're going to go by the number and the physical look of it and the number that's stamped on there to just kind of give you a baseline of what engine you have, because I see on a lot of the message boards and Facebook a popular question is, what engine do I have?
Yep.
I have no clue. I got this out of a barn. So as you can see, we have plenty of engines to look at, so let's get started.
This is a 36 horse.
And how can we tell?
36 horses are pretty easy. They're totally different than any of the other series of engines. So the 36 horse, one of the easiest ways to tell it's a 36 horse is the generator stand does not bolt on. It's integrated, integrated into the case. Fuel pump, instead of being mounted on top, the fuel pump mounts on the side of the case.
And what years were these made?
These were, so the 36 horse would be probably around 1953 up to 1960. It was a 25 horse, which is very similar to this, before that. So
and those are pretty hard.
Those you don't run across those
likely
very often. Chances are you probably didn't.
Yeah.
Pull a car out with a 25 horse in it.
Yeah, if you did,
you're doing good.
Yeah, you better save that.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to mention, this episode is we're going for the Type 1 engines. Type 3s and 4s, we can do it a different episode if you want.
Sure.
But for this one, we're just doing Type 1 engines.
Yep. Yeah. So.
And single port, and this seems a little bit.
They're dinky. The runners are extremely small.
Those are really small diameter.
Yeah. Yep. Runners are really, really small. These, no air ducts, of course, because it's stale air.
Also, that's how it gets the heat through.
Yeah, so these flappers on the front close, and you actually take the heat from around the cylinders and pump it back into the car.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you've got oil leaks, and you do, I mean, 36 horses, they're pretty well known for being leaky little critters.
Now, are there any engine numbers stamped on these?
Yes, on the generator stand, yep.
Okay, there is one.
363. So that is going to be one of the last, coming very close to the end of the run in 1960.
Okay.
Yep.
What else do you have around here?
I don't know
much.
There's engines everywhere. Let's go to this one over here.
Okay.
Let's look at this one.
Go over here.
Obviously a much later engine, fresh air. So that's
for your heat.
That's fresh air for your heat. Single port.
And you can tell that these are much larger diameter.
Yeah, much, much larger. And now we can see these numbers, H. And then 534. So that's going to fall in probably around a 68 engine, or that case is going to be a 68. Mm-hmm. That would be a 1500.
Okay.
A lot of times when you run your code and you find that it's a 1500, if it's ever been rebuilt in the last 15, 20 years, it's probably a 1600 now. Because you can just slide those cylinders and pistons in and...
why not?
Right. Yeah, the 1500, if it is still a 1500, it's kind of a rarity to actually see that.
So, now, what years for the size of the engines?
So we are 1,200 cc's, going all the way back to 25 horses, 1,100, and then we go to a 1,200, which is 1,200 ran an extremely long time. 1,200 ran from 1953 to 65. But there was a 36 horse version up to 1960. And then from 1960 and a half, 61 up to 65, it was still a 1200, but those were considered a 40 horse.
Okay.
Now they got that extra
still
four.
Small.
Still really small, all the way up to 65. Then 66, they stepped up to a 1300 in the Type 1.
Still small.
Still small.
Huh.
And then that was a 1 year run. Those are an F. Yeah, those are an F case. So if your suffix on your case starts with an F, it's a 1300.
Huh.
It started its life as a 1300. What it is now, we don't know, but it started as a 1300. Exactly. Yeah, and then from there, we went to the 1500, and the 1500 ran for a short period as well. And then it went into the 1600 single port.
When did they first come out with the 1600 single port?
So the 1600 single port, I believe to be late 68, 69. Now the 1500s were goofy because the 1500s started, I believe, back in 63 as a M157, and it came in a Type 2 bus.
Okay, so
you could get a 1500 earlier on.
But just in a bus, not
in a bus.
Okay.
And I believe Type 3s. Type 3s always got bigger, cooler stuff too. But as far as a Beetle goes, no, you only had a 1500 for a handful of years, and then boom, it went to 1600 and 1600 single port. And then we stepped all the way up to the big dual port 1600.
Now, what year was the dual port 1600?
Dual port was introduced in like 71.
See, that came in a lot later than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because everybody's desire is to get the 1600 dual port.
Everybody wants a 1600 dual port. Yeah. And honestly, one of the funner engines to drive is a 15 or 1600 single port. Yeah. Very torquey.
Mm-hmm. That's what I hear.
That small runner. Yeah, they produce a ton of torque.
So for a street car.
Yeah. If going fast is no interest of yours whatsoever, just getting around, these are fun. They're fun to drive.
What else you got?
There's stuff everywhere.
Let's look at a clean one.
All right,
What's this one?
This is...
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know what case.
Well, this one looks fancy here.
This one's fancy. It's fancy.
Now, obviously, this is highly modified, and
correct.
And the number on here is just the case.
It's just the case, and this is a B case, so that's going to be maybe like a 68, 69 bus case. And this is built out as a bay bus engine.
Now, what's the displacement in this now?
This is currently a 1904.
Okay.
Yep. This is a 1904. So nothing crazy.
And you built this?
I built this one. Yep.
So just basically, the case is.
That's it.
Everything else on it.
Everything else is
all different.
Yeah, it's all different, all new. It was just a really nice, clean case to start with, and so we went with that one. And so, yeah.
Now, over the years, has the metal, what do you call it, metallurgy?
Yeah.
Has it improved over the years?
Yeah, it did. They started out as a fully aluminum case. Mm-hmm. So a lot of your 25 horses, if not all, I'm not a 25 horse expert, but many, if not all of them, will be aluminum cases. And then they went to the magnesium case, and it's a mixture of magnesium, aluminum, okay. But it's more magnesium by far. I've heard like 70-30, 70% mag, 30% aluminum, okay. But it's something close to that. Now in 1975, when they started the fuel injection on the Type 1s, mm-hmm. It went from an AS41 case to an AS21 case, and the AS21 cases are kind of close to a flip in the composition of them.
More aluminum?
Yeah, it's going to be more of a 70% aluminum, 30% magnesium. Again, somewhere in there. And they're a very strong case.
Okay.
Very, very strong case. A lot of guys like to use those in the high performance world. Mm-hmm. That was one of the better cases that you could get back in the day when you were building high performance. A lot of guys.
Now, what was the purpose of using the magnesium for weight?
I think it was heat dissipation. Okay. Magnesium dissipates heat better. But I also think that weight played a huge role, Because now we've stepped into like all aluminum, beefy, heavy-duty cases, and some people like to say like, oh, they run hotter. They don't run that much hotter.
So there's not a significant.
It's not significant. It's not really.
So if you're looking for a high-performance case, unless you're really going all out with it, it really doesn't matter.
No, it's not a huge deal. We know guys making massive power on magnesium cases. We know guys making massive power, on all the other platforms as well, Mm-hmm. So I mean, and some people prefer the magnesium case. Yeah. Okay. For making big power. Sure. I don't know if things move a little bit, I mean, so.
whatever people think is best. I think that's it a lot of the times. There's no
Exactly.
real scientific data behind it. It's just what's in the person's head.
It's just what they've been told, what's worked for them in the past.
What they read on Samba.
Exactly. Exactly. You're exactly right.
All right, what else?
Let's talk about this beautiful thing.
This one. This one looks familiar, doesn't it, folks?
Oh.
Yeah, this one looks familiar.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you should watch our series, Building VW Power. And this is the showcase right here.
This is it, man.
So we know this is a 1600 dual port.
This is an AE case. So, like, this is one of the very first runs of the dual port engine, was the AE case. They come with 10 millimeter.
Here, I'll scrub some of the grease.
There's still a little grime on there.
Never bothered to clean it.
No.
It's got a nice
No
turbo
need.
on it, though.
Exactly. Yeah, these first dual port cases, they came with 10 millimeter studs. And then they realized that to be a problem.
What are the studs you're talking about?
The cylinder head studs.
So down here. Okay, holding
all the head studs are all 10 mil on these.
So down here.
Yep. On the very early 1600 dual ports. And then the studs like to pull out of the case. Now that you have a bigger platform, a little bit more performance, a little bit more power that it's making, you know, it was known to be a problem on these. And so they put head inserts in and went to an 8 millimeter stud, which fixes a lot of those problems.
Yeah, so this is, she's a beaut.
She is a beaut.
And that makes a lot of power. We're not going to tell you, because you're going to see this episode before you see the end episode.
That is all of the power.
That was all the power.
That was all the power
she wanted to give us.
Yeah.
But so stay tuned for that episode. Like I said, this episode here that we're doing is going to air before you even see this contraption here. So don't look at any of this.
Don't look at any of that.
Don't look at any of this.
We're not going there. We're not going there. And we said we're basically doing type 1, but we'll look at this one. This is a type 2.
Oh, a type 2.
But it's essentially same platform. This is a split bus engine.
Now, looking at it, it looks like a Type 1.
It looks exactly like a Type 1. Really, your only differences on these, on your split bus engines, were the intake manifold is different because they came with a governor.
Oh.
Yeah. You gotta slow that thing down.
Yeah. Don't want this thing go too fast.
Exactly. Yeah, so they had a governor on them. Otherwise, and I really think it was because all the buses at that era had gear reduction boxes. So, I mean, you're going anything over 55, this thing is just at the moon, just screaming.
So that just like a rev limiter.
Yeah, it just got a little flap and it just shuts you down. Like, no, you're good now. And it's all ran off of, I don't understand. There's no vacuum lines to it whatsoever. It's all mechanical inside of this.
That's goofy.
There's whack stuff going on inside of there. And like a flapper, and there's a plunger and a piston, and the piston has rings on it. It's crazy. So how it works, I don't know. And I don't know if I've ever been in a bus where the governor actually still worked. I have no idea. But regardless.
It sounds kind of complicated.
Yeah.
So maybe they lasted 5-6 years.
And I mean, it was like some voodoo stuff going on because they even wired it shut from the factory. So I mean, there's some serious stuff going on inside of there. No question. No question. Yeah. And then the muffler's different. Case-wise, and this case is numbered. It's a HO case, HO. And the HO would be a 66, 67 bus. And this actual engine matches. It is the number matching engine for a 67. One of our customers, 67, 21 windows.
Okay, cool.
That's being restored now. But yeah, still kind of the same basic platform. But yeah.
So what is this thing?
This is an off-road race engine. Got dropped off last night. This is a light buggy. So essentially a stock single port. Very little can be done legally in this class. Yeah. Yep. And a lot of these guys are running a magnesium case. This is more of a budget class. Hey, check it out. Do you see the numbers?
I think so, yeah.
There are no numbers.
What?
No.
I can't see.
There's no numbers on this case.
So what's that mean?
No numbers whatsoever. So this is a replacement case here.
Oh, you were mentioning that before off camera.
Yeah, this is a factory replacement case. And you can probably see over underneath, it probably will say Brazil.
It does.
It does.
Yep.
AS41 Brazil. So this is a factory VW replacement case. So this is back when, you know, they were still manufacturing cars in Mexico. They were still making the Beetle all the way up to 2004, 2006, whatever. And then the factory in Brazil continued making the engine cases for them. And so if you bought a replacement case or wanted to build a fresh, brand new engine with all new components, this is what you bought back then. This is what you started with. And back then wasn't that terribly long ago. You know, I mean, you could buy these all the way up to about 6, 7, 8 years ago. So.
But no numbers, no
numbers. They come with no numbers whatsoever.
You can make it anything.
Anything you want.
If you had the stampers,
just stamp away. And it happened.
I'm sure.
You'll see wacky badges on some replacement cases. You'll see just random stamping numbers, you know, where somebody tried to do the factory numbers in it and so on and so forth. So yeah, you never know what you're gonna run across there.
That's fun.
Yeah, if it doesn't look like a VW stamp, it probably isn't. And don't get excited. You probably don't have anything special. It's just
it's just a replacement.
It's just a replacement case. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I hope this helps you. I know we didn't. It's such a deep dive into these numbers and such.
It can be, yeah.
So what I'll do is there is an awesome chart on the Samba, which is a website. If you haven't been there yet, you should. It's all about Volkswagens. Yeah. And they'll have a chart there. And I'll put a link to it down below in the video description so you can do a better idea matching your numbers on your case to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it's all just reference.
Yeah.
It's the most highly modified engine ever designed.
Yeah, the Type 1 Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Look how many classes it's raced in.
Oh, everything.
Decades and decades. So it's been everywhere.
And the things it's been stuffed into. You
like
know
this
what I mean?
thing. Like
Exactly. Or Zambonis or irrigation systems or all of these things. Like there was more industrial engines out there than you could imagine. But regardless, I mean, it was very easy just to do a cylinder swap or do a crankshaft swap in these, and boom, you've got a 1641, 1678, 1776, you know, so you're going to look at your numbers and you're gonna know what year your case is from.
And if it appears to be a bone stock engine, it'll kind of give you an idea what year it was made and what size it is. Now, the internal components, like you just said, it could be different.
Nobody knows.
I remember seeing in the J.C. Whitney catalog when I was a kid. I looked at that more than the lingerie section in the Sears catalog.
Exactly.
And you look in there, they had
true car guys.
Yeah. And you had big bore kits, you know, bigger cylinders, bigger pistons, for like $150 or whatever it was back then. But so take it with a grain of salt, these numbers. It's not going to tell you a definitive answer to what your engine is, but it'll at least give you an idea what the case is.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And you can do other investigation as to whether it's a single port or dual port, that'll narrow down the year maybe. Well,
a lot of times you're buying an all original 100% correct numbers matching car. You've got an AE case and a 65, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll at least know, like, okay, that's been messed with, so what else has been messed with? So, you know, having some simple knowledge of the engines and the codes going into it, it's good.
Yeah. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have, please hit that like button, and we hope you consider subscribing to our channel. And be sure to check out our playlist, what's it called? What do we call it?
I don't know.
Building VW
having fun?
Power. Yeah, having fun. Oh, dude, you gotta watch this. Building VW Power. Go there, have some fun with us.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.